Hey, tburrier from tburrier.com, and today I'm going to give you a little insight. It's really a powerful lesson on why you should consistently follow up. And this is an area that I see so many people fall down on, and it's really pretty easy to do. But I'm going to give you a perspective you might not have thought about before. So I'll tell you a quick little story that will really kind of drive this point home, because it's exactly what we do in the work when we don't follow up right, and the result that comes from it. Yes, certainly you might not sponsor a person, right, because you didn't follow up, but it's worse than that. So, many years ago, I was fishing with a really good friend of mine, and we were on a Canadian fishing trip. It was a whole group of us, and me and another buddy decided to go out at night in the pitch dark and fish for largemouth bass using top water, meaning we're using something called jitterbugs. And so they go across the water and they make this sound bup, 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 on top of the water, and the fish hears it and comes up and boom, grabs onto it. And so we're fishing in this little cove, and it is pitch black. I mean, you can't see anything. You can't see where you're casting. You can't see a thing. There's no moon out at night, and we're in a cove. And so we're covered by really steep cliffs on each side. So it's really dark. And so we're fishing. Of course, we got a flashlight for when we catch something, but we're fishing, and my buddy's winding, and we hear, he hears his jitterbug going pop, 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 pop across the top of the water, and all of a sudden you hear this, which was the explosion of a big fish trying to grab it. But it missed, and I hear my buddy go, oh, and because I could hear the splash, and I'm like, was that yours? He's like, yes, and I had just wound my line, and so I turned around and just flicked my jitterbug right into the area I couldn't see, but where I guessed it was where he was. And as soon as it hit the water, bam, this big bass grabs it. It was the same fish that had just gone after his lure. And so I ended up bringing the fish in and boating this really nice fish that he had made aware that we were existing. And that's the point. You see, when you don't follow up adequately with someone, and this happens all the time, right? And it can happen in a variety of capacities. So one, it could be someone that you've prospected and you've had a conversation, they had some level of interest, maybe shared your story, and then it just stopped, right? And it happens a lot, right? Things happen, people go through things, maybe they got busy, maybe you let it slip through the cracks, whatever. And so you don't follow up, you don't finish the conversation, right? You don't take it all the way to the first decision point. What have you just done? You've actually opened their eyes for the next fisherman, right? Because now they enjoyed meeting you, they enjoyed your story. Maybe they now see the industry, the company, the business model in a whole new light, but they didn't take an action yet, and you didn't follow up. And everybody is on someone else's list, or everybody you're ever going to talk to is going to end up being talked to by other people. Just assume that's to be true. And so now when someone reaches out and prospects them, or they run across someone and get prospected, they're wide open because of you, right? You were the one that put your jitterbug across their path and made them aware that this is actually a cool thing. And actually, because it was you and you did it the right way, they're even more open now for the next person. And so you've helped someone else sponsor someone because you didn't follow up. And that's going to be true with prospects. It's going to be true with your not yet. So let's say you did finish the conversation right. You did follow up properly. You went through the process, you had the conversation, they were again, I love what I see, but it's just not right for me right now, right? They're part of the 8, the 2 out of the 10, and then the 8, right? That's the way it is, human nature. 10 are ready or looking to take action on something, to make a change in their life, but only 2 are ready to act on it. And then, so they're one of the 8. They go into your not yet folder. They gave you a decision, but then you didn't follow up, right? I teach in the process too. I teach in the Blueprint Process digital training. You've got to go to your not yets at minimum every 6 months. At minimum. Some people tell you every 3. I think every 6. I think you got so many people to talk to, you can't get to them for 6 months anyway. And that 6 is a great increment, unless there are changes, right? Like have a new product or a new tool or some change in their life or whatever. There are exceptions, and I explain those in those training programs. But so if you don't go back, right, same thing is going to happen. That they had their eyes opened by you, and then they're going to get prospect by someone else. And then the third place it happens is what I call missing in action, right? Because you're doing this for life, right? I mean, this is the only way to do this. You do it for life. You don't do it like to see if it's going to work. You don't do it for a quick hit. That's not what you do this for. It's not what you build a networking business for. You build it for the long term, for the lifestyle, for the fruit, for the what it can really do for you, right? That's a long-term thing, which means you have lots of people that come and go. Lots of people get on your product or your service and drop off. Lots of people that get started in the business and drop off. That doesn't mean they're gone forever. I mean, that they're great leads to go back to in time. And so they are what I call missing in action. Same thing applies. So you always treat people right. You let them know they're welcome when they do stop using your product or service or be a part of the business. If everything is cool with you and them, you can talk to them again in the future and you will re-sponsor them. Or someone else is going to come along and they had a good experience with you, but for whatever else reason, they stopped. And so you have a favorable idea of the industry or the products or whatever, a favorable opinion. You've opened their eyes, someone else comes along and poof, they take their jitterbug. So that's the point, that you have to understand that every time you touch someone, you want to maintain that relationship the rest of your life. You want to follow up in some capacity. I'm not talking every day, right? I'm talking about incrementally every 6 months, whatever. You want to always be in the follow-up because you're the one who's opening someone's eyes. So I want to see you get the fruit of developing that person. So I hope this is helpful for you. Feel free to share it. If you haven't got my 27 scripts that really work to help you sponsor, make sure at tburrier.com you put in your email and get your free download. Hey, have a great day.